I wanted to make a video about why mental health is a problem in our world. Now, I've been on the personal development journey for 15 years. I had a spiritual awakening back in 2019, and that leveled up my personal development journey. And that's because spirituality teaches you the importance of doing inner work, shadow work, and healing from your emotional wounds. And so it took the personal development to a whole nother level. It also opened me up to spiritual teachers and reading their books, which taught me a lot about, how to be a happy, healthy person. And so mental health is a problem because we are tackling it from the wrong angle. And it's because mental means mind, right? So it's about working with the mind. And with that approach, you're forgetting about the body, because the body is playing a very important role in all of this. And so I hate the term mental health, because I realized it's not just about what's going on up here. It's not just about dealing with your thoughts. It's actually about working with your body. And I prefer the term inner health. Inner covers both mind and body. And so what I learned along the way is that basically we suppress emotions in our body and we store trauma, unresolved trauma in our bodies and in our nervous system. So we're basically storing this energy. And there's a book that's called The Body Keeps the Score. I haven't read the book, but it's basically about how the body keeps the score, as in the body remembers all the trauma you went through. All the unresolved stuff is stored in the body. And you may have experienced trauma, even back in your childhood, that you consciously don't remember. And even though your mind consciously doesn't remember it, your body does. Your body stored the information. And so that's what the book's about. And so the cool thing about this is that you can heal from trauma that you don't consciously remember. You don't need to remember it in order to heal it. It's about working with the body to release the trapped energy, because that's what it is. It's trapped energy in the body and in the nervous system that's causing these problems. And I learned all about suppressed emotions from Dr. David Hawkins' book, Letting Go. And he talks about how we, suppress these emotions in the body, and he teaches the technique for how to release it, which I will share with you in a minute. But there was a really interesting thing in the book, which is about how there was a study done that shows that we have basically a filing system in the brain that will store a bunch of thoughts to one emotion. So for example, you could feel the emotion of shame. Your brain will have a filing system where there is a bunch of thoughts associated to that emotion of shame. So you'll start experiencing thoughts to do with shame. Then if you experience a different emotion like fear, you're going to have different thoughts that are based around fear. And Dr. David Hawkins says that these thoughts can literally run into the thousands. And so it's far more effective to deal with the emotions, the suppressed emotions in the body, than it is trying to sort out these thoughts. So for example, if you are experiencing suicidal thoughts, like that was me back in my late teens, early 20s, I was going through like the hardest time of my life. I was homeless, sleeping on a couch in a tinny house, halfway house, hanging around a very negative, low vibe crowd. I was hanging around a crowd of criminals and crackheads. I wasn't a criminal or a crackhead, but I got into that crowd through buying weed. And I was also quite starved. My life was basically, in the gutter. It was like I was at rock bottom, basically, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And so I was experiencing suicidal thoughts every day. And now I realized I was experiencing those types of thoughts because of the emotional state that I was operating in, because I was very low vibrational. I was in a really negative environment. And so the key is about working with the body, not so much the mind. Like mindset stuff is good, you know, but it's not very effective if you just ignore the body. So there's a couple of ways that you can release these emotions and this unresolved trauma and this trapped energy. And the first one is Dr. David Hawkins' letting go technique, which he shares in his book, Letting Go. I highly recommend it if you want to learn about the, suppressed emotions on a deeper level, because it's a very interesting book. I would say it would be in the top 3 self-help books for me. And so what the technique is, it's very simple. And the cool thing about it is that you don't need to work with someone. You don't need to pay someone to do this. You can do it by yourself. And what it is you basically, when you have a negative emotion come up, you just sit with it and be present with it and allow it to be there. Because we don't actually allow these negative emotions. We resist them. And there are 3 ways we resist them. We either suppress it, so we may feel negative, but we're putting that smile on the face, pretending to be happy to the world, when really we don't feel that way on the inside. So that's suppression. Then there's expression. So even expressing the emotion, you still suppress it in the body. And then the last one is escapism. It's where you're distracting yourself. You may drink alcohol, smoke some weed, eat some junk food, watch some TV, just distracting yourself from the emotion. And that's what keeps it in the body, right? So it's about allowing it to be there. So what I do is I just close my eyes and I tune into the body and I just sit with it, be present. I tell myself that it's okay to feel this emotion and just allow it. And then you just want to observe it, because you aren't your thoughts or emotions. You're the conscious being that can take the step back and observe your thoughts and emotions. So you just want to observe the emotion, and not only that, but observe the physical sensations in the body. And so I'll just sit there, just tuned in, just sort of observing. And what will happen, or what you're basically doing, is you're allowing the emotion to run its course. And then it will just clear itself out. So you know that you have successfully released an emotion you'll feel a release, you'll feel it leave, and you'll feel lighter and more uplifted. And that's how you know you have successfully surrendered that emotion. That's what you're looking for. And we have so much in the body that, you've got to keep releasing these one by one by one by one. And over time, it's going to improve your emotional state. It's going to cause you to feel, more positive, higher and uplifted. The more you surrender these emotions from your body. And because emotions control your thoughts, as you start shifting into more positive emotions, because you've been doing the work of releasing the suppressed emotions, it's naturally going to cause you to have positive thoughts as a side effect. So it's a very simple technique. It's just that we're not taught how to actually deal with our emotions. And so what the technique's about is just clearing out the emotional charge, basically. But because we're not used to doing that, we just resist. What ends up happening is something will trigger the negative emotion to come up, and then we resist it, so that's us just pushing it back down. There's something else will happen that triggers it to come back up, and then we resist and push it back down, and it creates that like yo-yo effect, right? So you don't want to keep doing that. You want to, when it comes up, instead of pushing it back down, you want to just release it. So that's the first thing that you can just start applying today. The second way to release, this trapped energy and unresolved trauma from the nervous system is by using somatic breath work. Somatic means body. So it's about working with the body and using your breath in a specific type of way to bring up this energy so you can release it. Now, this isn't something that you can do by yourself. You need to do this with a practitioner, like people that are certified in and guiding you through it. But basically what it is yeah, it's using your breath in a specific type of way that causes the emotions and energy to come up. And it will come out in a number of different ways. It could come out with you screaming, crying, or even laughing. And that's the energy that's leaving your body. And so I'm in a certification program, like a coaching certification program at the moment. And once I'm certified, I'm really excited because I will get a somatic breathwork session, like a pre-recorded session that's ran by my mentor because he's certified to do it. I'm not certified, so that's why I'm so excited. Once I'm certified as a coach, I get to have this pre-recorded somatic breathwork session that I will be able to give to my clients so that I can work with people and help people do this sort of work. So that's really exciting. But you can start applying the letting go technique. You don't need a practitioner. This is something you can just do on your own to at least start releasing this trapped energy from the body. And that's what's going to sort out your mind, your thoughts. Like, mindset work is good as well. I'm not saying to never work with the mind and only work with the body. It's about working with both mind and body. But understanding that your body is very intelligent. It's storing all this unresolved shit, basically. And that's what's causing all this negative thoughts that's going on. So it is good to incorporate some mindset stuff as well, like reframing things, changing the meaning that you give things, or shifting perspectives. And I believe, that's what's going to level people up, is both working with both body and mind. And that's what I intend to do through my coaching program. And so I just wanted to make this video to put this out here because I know that, mental health is a big problem in this world. Suicide rates are high, and I believe it's higher amongst men. And I think that's because men are more taught that they're not allowed to have emotions. Whereas like women still suppress. I just feel like men are probably suppressing more because they're told, you're not allowed to have emotions, you're not allowed to cry, it's girly, which is the complete wrong message that's been sent to men because humans are emotional beings. So you're basically telling a man you're not allowed to be a human because you're not allowed to have emotions. And that's wrong. So it's okay to have those negative emotions, and it's just understanding how to actually deal with it properly. So I hope you like this video and you got some sort of value, or I offered some sort of insight or a different perspective shift around doing this sort of work, because I do think that this message needs to get out there where people need to understand the bigger picture of things. I hate the term mental health. I prefer the term inner health. And I think when we make that shift, we're going to get better results for people. So if you got value, or if you think someone else could get value from this video, smash the like button or write a comment, because engaging with the video will help push it out in the algorithm. And if you like this sort of content around personal development, law of attraction and manifesting your reality, spirituality, things like that, then make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification. Have an awesome day. Thank you for watching. Peace.